Welcome back or welcome. My name is Ori Monroe. I'm the COO of MMH Productions. And I was all set and geared up to talk to you today about Butterfly. It's a really exciting feature film that is currently in pre-production, and we're gearing toward getting that started, much slower than I would like, unfortunately. When I happened across a DM on another platform that asked me a question, and I thought that perhaps it might be a more involving conversation to give my view on that in case you're interested. The question was, what do I find most frustrating about independent film? And initially, I had to think about it quite a bit because I didn't really come up with anything. I embrace the challenges that come along with it, such as challenges with casting, challenges with equipment, challenges with crew, challenges with these things that are all part of the process, that you have to have these things. You've got to have them. Insurance, marketing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I embrace those. I look at it as part of the process, so I don't really get frustrated with that. In fact, it's kind of fun to solve these problems. I like that. So, as I'm still contemplating, as we're going through, the one thing that keeps popping into my head are extrinsic factors. And I think extrinsic factors, things outside of MMH, outside of our cast, outside of our crew, outside of our equipment, are the things that frustrate me the most notably being good intentions. And when I say good intentions, I absolutely mean good intentions. I may be an optimist, but I don't believe that there are people out there that are maniacal or malignant or contriving to work against independent film or to hurt us in any way. But there are a lot of people that just want so much to be part of the process and want to make an impact that they step up, or I reach out to them and they respond. It just depends, with a lot of interest and a lot of promises and a lot of intent. I'm going to do this for you. Don't worry about it. It's in the bag. We've got this. You can take that off of your plate and we can move forward. And then with that comes a lot of advice, a lot of requirements, a lot of suggestions, a lot of things that I typically wouldn't have done otherwise, but I do because it's part of the transaction to make this worthwhile. So it's stemming from two things. One is a level of desperation, and forgive me if that word's offensive to you, but the desperation that comes a lot with independent filmmaking. And then coupled with that desperation is a confirmation bias that things may sound good, too good to be true, and your rational mind is telling you that this doesn't make sense. Things aren't adding up the way that they should. However, I really want this to happen, so I'm going to kind of stay on this train because I don't want to mess it up. But at the end of the day, the picture that is relaying information, the person that has to answer for those decisions and for those steps is a very limited number of people that are associated with your company. What happens outside of that is irrelevant. So that is something that I have learned through experience to be aware of. And it's been a tough battle, or a tough love, tough learning. And we're coming through that as a young company that has done relatively well by learning with bumps and bruises instead of a team of lawyers or advisors or connected people that kind of tell you this, that, or the other thing. So what I've learned is to, at the very least, get an LOI, which is a letter of intent, which, if you don't know, which I'm sure most of you do, a letter of intent is just a piece of paper that, for all intents and purposes, is meaningless. But what it says is that I, whoever you are, am intending to do this specific thing for this project. And there aren't really contractual terms, and it's usually not an enforceable document. You can't make them do it, but at least it's something on paper that somebody's got to think about before they write down. So I'm really thankful for the alternative decision making that we had in the past. And although that doesn't solve the problem of good intentions and ghosting, it does give a little bit more comfort sometimes of what's going on. So that's really my biggest frustration, is extrinsic factors of good intentions. I'd like to hear your views and some of the challenges that you have and some experiences that you have, positive and negative. So I'm really not trying to give advice. I don't think there's a such thing as an expert in independent film or independent filmmaking. I just want to make meaningful films. I want to write the content that I want to write and create things that facilitate discussion or thought on collective terms, if that makes any sense to you at all. So I hopefully answered the question well. I welcome any feedback. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Please consider sharing the channel with other people. And I look forward to talking to you again. Bye.